Finally, after 25 years, the Bronco is back and it's better than ever. With its rugged looks, amazing off-road capability, and impressive on-road performance, the new Bronco has the Jeep Wrangler with its tail between its legs. Now make sure to stay around to the end of this review because I'm about to put this through some insane off-road tests. The Bronco I'm driving today is called the First Edition. It's the top-of-the-line trim that has everything you could want and more, and starts at $58,000. Now, under the hood of the First Edition is a 2.7-liter twin-turbocharged V6 making 330 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. Because this is the larger engine, there's only one transmission available that's a 10-speed automatic, and of course, it's got variable all-wheel drive. The real highlight of the Bronco, though, is its off-road capabilities. The First Edition comes standard with the Sasquatch package, which is an optional extra on every other trim level but the Wildtrak and the First Edition. Not only is it a really cool name, it comes with some amazing features. For one, these 17-inch wheels with massive 35-inch tires from the factory. These are not upgraded wheels and these are not aftermarket tires. How cool is that it comes directly from Ford? We also have more clearance in the fenders, a higher clearance suspension setup, as well as an electronic locking front differential and rear differential, which already has proven extremely useful. The Bronco has a ridiculous amount of additional off-road features, so instead of telling you about them, why don't I try to summit this ridiculous mountain and show you how they work at the same time? Now, there are tons more exterior features that I'm going to be talking about later on in the video, as well as going over the basic layout of the interior features as well. But I wanted to jump into the fun stuff right away and show you how capable this vehicle is off-road. Conveniently located in the center console area is this little turn dial with a label that says GOAT modes on it. No, it doesn't mean goat the animal. It actually means goes over all types of terrain. Even though that doesn't really spell the acronym GOAT, but that's what it means. Now, you can use this to switch between 4 high, 4 low. You can go fully two-wheel drive, as well as an automatic mode and a hill descent control. That's if you click on the buttons. Now, if we actually rotate the GOAT mode selector, you can choose between 7 different driving modes. Everything from mud and ruts to economy mode to slippery or rock crawl. Really, the sky is the limit with this thing. Now, I'm going to summit this ridiculous cliff over to the side, and what I've determined to be my favorite setup is go ahead and put it into 4 low, so you got to shift it into neutral to do that. Go ahead and put it into 4 low. Now that we are in 4 low, I want to talk about the series of buttons located on the top of the dash here that are rubberized and super, super durable and can be used in case you're wearing gloves, or if the entire interior gets muddy, everything in here is easy to clean. It's more about being durable than it is luxurious. Like I said, I'll talk more about the interior in a little bit. All the way to the left is a button that disconnects the stability bar to allow for more actuation of the front suspension to allow the vehicle to get over and around bigger obstacles. Now, to the right of that is the front locking and rear locking differential. A differential allows the left wheel and the right wheel to spin at different speeds, which is super helpful for cornering. But when you're stuck off-roading, it's not helpful if one wheel spins at 50 miles an hour and the other one is stuck going 0. So being able to lock both the front and the rear differential is super helpful. Now, one right of that is a button called Trail Turn Assist. I'll demonstrate that right now. Trail Turn Assist is actually going to apply the brakes on the inside wheel so that I can reduce my turning radius by up to 40%. This is actually turning on a dime. Unbelievably impressive. All right, we'll take that off, put the rear differential lock back on, and go ahead and go over this little section of off-road. Let's actually turn traction control off, and then I'm going to show you this really, really crazy off-road section. I gotta say, obviously, I am by no means a pro off-roader, but this vehicle makes you feel like you can conquer absolutely anything. One of my favorite parts is when you're in 4 low, it actually shows on the massive 12-inch display a front view camera, so you can see the rocks ahead of you, which is super, super helpful if there's a big divot or there's a tree branch or a rock that's going to scratch your front bumper or you can't clear it. I absolutely love the fact that there's a front view camera that actually operates when you're driving along. This is a particularly useful scenario for the screen. I've crested a hill and I can't see over the front hood whatsoever. So legitimately, there could be a 200-foot cliff in front of me and I wouldn't know. That's why having a spotter is super useful for off-roading. But in the Bronco, you've got your own spotter with this camera, and I can actually see that I absolutely should not go ahead right there. Now look at that. That is amazing. There was a massive rock garden in front of me that I believe no vehicle could go over. All right, so we're gonna do a quick little descent down this steep and rutty area, and then we're gonna climb up something pretty crazy. We've also got hill descent control to help you make sure that you go down a hill really, really slowly. Whoa! But man, the ground clearance of the Bronco is truly impressive. And we've got all that armor in the front, that steel front bumper, all of those skid plates, just in case you end up scraping a rock, it doesn't end up damaging your Bronco. And look at that, I went down a pretty darn steep hill, no problem at all. Now I'm gonna do something much scarier and climb this cement thing. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's pretty intense. So we are in 4 low, traction control off, stop bar disconnected, as well as front and rear diff locked. Okay, here we go. Oh my God. Oh! Oh man, it is sunny enough for this, that's for sure. I can't see anything. Here we go. So basically, because this is so steep, I really can't see much over the front hood. I'm essentially relying on this camera, which is super, super helpful. You know, obviously it's not recommended to go off-roading alone, but if you were to do so, you can do it easily in this because you've got your little buddy here on the screen. Holy moly, wow. Come on, Bronco, you got this. Yup. This is the most intense off-road feature I've ever tried in any vehicle, and it did so with ease. I love it. Now, one of the Bronco's greatest party tricks is the fact that you can remove the doors and the roof just like a Wrangler. Although it's actually better than a Wrangler, and I'll show you why. For one, the mirrors are actually mounted on the body of the car itself, not the doors, so that when you remove these doors, you actually still have mirrors. On the Wrangler, when you take the doors off, you have to put aftermarket mirrors on the vehicle, otherwise you're going completely mirrorless. It's also much easier to take the doors off this vehicle. Simply 2 bolts with a socket wrench and 1 little electrical disconnect, and boom, you can take these doors off, and unlike the Wrangler, you can actually store them in the back of your Bronco. At the rear of the Bronco, we've got a full-size spare in case you get a flat tire when you're off-roading. You're easily able to continue on with your day. We've also got a nice backup camera. The backup camera graphics are really nice in the Bronco. I also really like the rear tailgate. Check it out. You can open it in multiple stages. Here's the first one, if you just want to load something in there. Now the second one out there, and then you can actually open it past 90 degrees if you want. Let's go ahead and open up that window. Now, if you get the 4-door version, you do get more trunk space, but even in this, you can fit the doors in the rear of the Bronco. Now, here's something I wasn't expecting in a 2-door Bronco. There's actually plenty of space for rear seat occupants. I've got tons of leg room, plenty of headroom. Even got a couple of creature comforts, got a little cup holder here, as well as USB and USB-C charging, as well as a 110-volt outlet so you can charge your laptop. Pretty cool. All right, let's hop in the front. I gotta say, I do like the design language of the Bronco's interior. It looks rugged and manly. I love the grab handles everywhere and this vertical layout and the rubberized buttons that you can activate while you're wearing gloves, and if there's mud everywhere, it's easy to clean. That being said, it is by no means luxurious. This specific Bronco will set you back $60,000. So if you're looking for a luxury car that's also good at off-roading, you might want to look at something else. It's not to say the interior is bad by any means, but for 60 grand, you kind of expect a little more creature comforts and leather. There is a lot of plastic everywhere. But if you don't need that ultra luxurious vibe, well then this is an epic choice for an off-road vehicle. And it's got some serious advantages over the Wrangler that I'll talk more about in a bit. In the center of the dashboard, we've got Ford's newest multimedia system on a 12-inch touchscreen display that responds very, very quickly. Now for the instrument cluster, we actually have an analog speedo, which is pretty rare in today's day and age. And then for the rest of the information, you've got a massive display to the right of that for your RPMs, as well as what settings you are for off-road, so on and so forth, and how much fuel you have left. I like the steering wheel. That being said, despite it being leather wrapped, it feels a little bit plasticky, I'm not gonna lie. The seats are comfortable and supportive. I'm not a huge fan of the color combination. I feel like they could have done something a little bit cooler. But overall, with the purpose of the Bronco in mind, the interior is not bad. A really unique thing about the Bronco's interior is because the doors actually come off, we couldn't have the window switches or the mirror controls located on the doors themselves. They're actually down here. So to operate the windows, it's in the center. And then to change the direction of the mirrors, it's actually located right here in the center console. Now that we've discussed the interior, let's take it back out onto the off-road and talk about its driving dynamics. Because honestly, the Bronco is an absolute joy to drive. Now, the vast majority of people who buy a Bronco likely never will take it off-road whatsoever. So I'm pleased to report that in an on-road environment, just driving to the mall or dropping off your kids to school, it drives much better than a Wrangler. You don't have that sloppy steering where you feel like you're going every which direction but straight, and you have to put so much effort in to make sure it doesn't look like you're a drunk driver on the freeway. It also rides significantly smoother than the Wrangler as well. Now that I'm on a super bumpy road that doesn't display how smooth the ride is, but you get the point. The suspension rides more smoothly than a Wrangler. It feels more stable than a Wrangler. At freeway speeds, there is a decent amount of wind noise that penetrates into the cabin through the roof because it is detachable, but it's a little bit less noise than the Wrangler. It still is pretty noisy, I'm not going to lie. It feels a lot more like driving a Ford Raptor than it does driving a Wrangler or just a normal SUV. That I am very thankful for because it's one massive downside of the Jeep Wrangler. I'm not gonna lie, the sound of the engine isn't all that impressive. I wish it sounded more like the EcoBoost V6 inside of the Raptor. It just kind of sounds lackluster. It's also not all that quick. But where it lacks, it makes up for in spades in how much fun it is to off-road and even on-road. This thing has such crazy road presence, and I really do love the way the Bronco looks. I think they nailed the exterior appearance, and I really don't know anyone that disagrees with me. Everyone who's seen this car and I've showed friends and I've driven down the road, you get thumbs up. People are like, damn, that's the new Bronco. People really do enjoy this car, whether they grew up loving the old Bronco or they've never seen a Bronco before and just looks impressive. This thing really is an awesome SUV. Oh man, like I said, I love this front camera that shows you exactly what's ahead in case you can't see. It makes the driving experience a lot safer so that you don't damage your $60,000 Ford Bronco. All right, this part's called the frame twister. Oh yeah, we're twisting the frame. Now, I wish I got footage of it because the first ascent that I did up that steep concrete rocky mess, you know, on camera it doesn't look all that crazy, but I've seen about a half dozen vehicles try to go up it and actually fail. Like they couldn't make it up. All right, let's go up this crazy incline one more time. So we're in 4 low. Let's go ahead and set the goat mode to rock crawl. Gonna hold stall bar disconnect, okay. Lock the front and rear differential. Turn traction control off. Let's go ahead and see if we can summit this absolutely insane concrete jungle of a cliff. All right, there we go. That camera coming in helpful, that front cam. I'm gonna go ahead and take my glasses off so I can see a bit better. Oh, this is crazy. I wish you guys could be here to experience this with me, but man, the ground clearance is unbelievable, and the ingress and egress of the front and rear bumpers, even though they have those skid plates, they really don't touch anything. You can summit some crazy stuff and go through crazy dips without actually bumping into anything. I mean, I know you couldn't tell back then, but man, I am at a steep angle. Like, this is ridiculous. I feel like I'm going straight up right now. Holy moly. All right, and then we crest the hill. I can't see anything, so I'm using the camera. And then, oh my God, I'm literally blind. And off this little edge. And we are good to go. This is easily the best from the factory off-road vehicle I've ever driven. I've been fortunate enough to take a decent amount of vehicles out here to Gorman, some modified Jeeps, as well as modified Raptors and some other vehicles, but this performs shockingly well, especially considering the fact that it's stock. There really doesn't feel like there's anything that this vehicle can't do. I'm sure if you're a professional off-roader, there's some additional upgrades that you'd like to do. For one, lighting. We've got all of these auxiliary switches on the top here by the rear view mirror. They're actually pre-wired, so if you want a light bar on the front, so on and so forth, you can actually wire them up and flick the auxiliary switches on. Another thing that's pretty cool on the Bronco are what I thought at first were these sight lines to help you guide the Bronco when you're off-roading. They look like kind of handles on the front hood. They're actually to attach wires from the roof down to the front so that when you're off-roading in kind of a tree-heavy environment, it'll actually cut the branches with the wire to make sure that you don't smash your front windshield. That I really like. I never would have thought of something like that, that's for damn sure. Well guys, there you have it. I'd choose this over a Jeep Wrangler every single day of the week. Seriously, Ford did such a good job with the Bronco. It looks incredible on the outside. The interior is rugged and purpose-built, and it off-roads so damn well that it makes somebody with not all that much experience feel like a pro in a safe way, not an overly ridiculous way. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.